Welcome everyone to the latest edition of the Dr. Abs Healthcast. I'm your host, Dr. Abs, Dr. Bryan Abasolo, and I'm very excited today because I have a good friend of mine, and this woman is absolutely amazing. Her name is Callie Bundy, everybody. All right, so let's talk a little bit about Callie. She is a viral influencer and fitness model known for throwing things like footballs in her trick shot videos. Now, I'm telling you right now, guys, when it comes to her trick shots, nobody's better than Callie Bundy. I'm telling you right now, her YouTube videos are the stuff of legend, and they have a ton of views, a ton of media attention. I actually saw the other day and I actually texted her, I DM'd her, and I told her, hey, I just saw you on the NBA on TNT. Shaq, Kenny Smith, Charles, and Ernie were all talking about Callie, and they basically went to her video of her. You literally threw a football the length of a basketball court and made it into the hoop. That was pretty amazing. So, I mean, you have basketball legends basically giving you mad props on a basketball show, which has nothing to do with trick shots. So pretty outstanding. So I just wanted you to tell us, Callie, first off, thank you for coming onto the Healthcast. And I just want you to tell us a little bit about yourself, how you came to stardom and how you became a YouTube sensation, you know, with all those trick shots.
Yeah, it was kind of, first of all, thank you for having me, Bryan. This is Bryan with a Y, as I like to say.
Yes.
It was kind of by accident, actually. So I've been an athlete my whole life. Literally, that's all I ever wanted to do was play sports. Like one time, my mom and I were cleaning out my old bedroom, and we found a journal of mine from like third grade, I believe it was. And literally the first entry in there said, I like sports, eating, and sleeping. And in my spare time, I do my homework. And I lost it. I was like, Mom!
Is it safe to say you were a tomboy growing up?
Absolutely. Like, off the charts tomboy. That's all I ever wanted to do was play sports. So I played soccer, basketball, softball in college. And then when that was all done, I tried to get into coaching, but it just wasn't the same for me not playing, you know?
Gotcha.
So I just kept going. And that's what got me into fitness because I missed training and competing. So I started competing in the NPC and the IFBB.
Very nice.
So I did that for a while. And then that's what got me back into the trick shot videos, actually, because I got really sick of just working out to like do nothing with it, like just to spin around on a stage and have it be super subjective. And there was like,
you're in a bikini 24/7. Yeah, no. You want to get back to your sports roots. I get it.
Right, exactly. So I was doing a food giveaway for some company, and I just wanted to do something I liked again. Like I wanted to go out and throw something. So I just took a football, went out and threw it in this box and did a video. And I posted it and was like, hey, do this giveaway. I don't even remember. And people were like, this is fake. It didn't go in because the ball had bounced like into the box and then out of it.
Oh, so they were trying to say it was some type of CGI, like some type of fake graphics or something like that?
Exactly.
Oh,
so I was like, what? Why? It's like, one, it's not that awesome. And two, I wouldn't have posted it if it wasn't in there. So then I did another one where I like knocked over a bunch of boxes so that no one could say, you know, it didn't hit the target. And still people are like, this is fake. The ball left the screen. So I just kept getting like all these different challenges from people, and I never really meant for it to become a thing. But it did. And then I think it was over like some holiday weekend. I wasn't really looking at my social media, and my friends started texting me and were like, yo, go check Barstool.
No, you got to on Barstool Sports. That's amazing.
Everywhere. Bleacher Report, Barstool.
How many views did it get up to on YouTube?
Oh my God, I don't even remember now, but it was something insane. Like it had like 25 million views in like 2 days. Like it was everywhere. Yeah.
And I'm going to say something. I will definitely vouch for you because I remember when we had gone on the influencer trip in the Bahamas, we actually threw the football around. This
Yeah.
woman has an arm, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, I think it comes from those softball days, but you definitely have a great arm. That thing was on a rope. I was like, geez,
And
I gotta warm up my arm a little bit. I'm getting punked
yeah.
here.
Well, thank you, because I hadn't thrown a football, pregnant and had a baby. I hadn't thrown a football in probably like over a year.
Wow.
Or like maybe.
Definitely didn't notice. I don't think you lost a step. So tell me a little bit about the reaction that people have had. I mean, obviously you just said that people thought it was fake, and a lot of men maybe say, "Oh, a woman can't do that," but you are basically putting men to shame when you do those trick shots. Like, what has the reaction been, and who would you say you were most surprised by as far as the reaction, like somebody that gave you props or whatnot?
Yeah, well, I would start with saying the reaction was because most of the sites that were posting it were male dominated. Obviously, you have a female doing something that males do, right? Like females don't play football, so yeah. They are like not happy about it, So they're of course just trolling like mad, like
of course,
tell her to get back in the kitchen.
Oh,
her form's horrible. She's just doing that to show off her butt. Like all these different comments. So I just started trolling them back and like writing like, yeah, she is terrible. Like look at, she throws from her ear, like all this stuff. Like I was just going back at them.
But using your own handle just to to answer back. Okay. So you're having fun with it.
Yeah. Which they actually liked, because then they would be like, oh, wait a second, aren't you the girl in the video? And they're like, that's awesome. You're trolling your own post. So I kind of won a few people over that way, but there was a few like, super trolls that weren't going to budge. So the reaction was definitely mixed, but it was either people loved it or they hated it. The cool thing about the women that did like it, though, were super supportive. And they're like, which is usually, you don't always get that from other women.
Yeah.
So they were like calling them out. They're like, you just don't like it because she can do it better than you can, kind of thing. So that was really cool.
Everybody was asking you for like, how can I get that type of arm? I want to try these trick shots. I want to get on your page. That's awesome.
Right.
Exactly. So who would you say you were the most surprised by, like a celebrity or just somebody that maybe reached out to you, or was it the NBA on TNT? Because I thought that was pretty fascinating.
That was fascinating, especially since I didn't know that they were going to air it. I just like woke up to all these messages and people being like, oh my God, Callie. And I went and looked and I was like, that's hysterical. Because I had already gone in, I think at that point, for a live interview with SportsCenter on those videos, which to me was like crazy that they would want to bring me in, because I played sports, right? So I'm like fully aware of this distinction between myself, who played at probably like one of the worst like Division I softball colleges like in the country, and people that make it on SportsCenter. You know
Gotcha.
what I mean? So and they're like, here they are asking me to like come and be on SportsCenter for throwing footballs at random objects on the internet. It was just hysterical to me, but it was definitely surprising. Like I don't like calling anyone out, kind of thing, or, because I definitely got appropriate DMs, like from real, like, athletes that were like, yo, don't stop throwing things. Like, don't listen to anyone. Like, I play football. It doesn't matter how you look as long as the ball gets from, like, A to B. Like, so that was really cool. But also, I got invited to the Marcus Allen Celebrity Golf Tournament.
Really?
And this was
That's pretty cool.
Hysterical, because it was all famers, like Julius Erving and Emmitt Smith and like all these guys, and they're introducing all of the celebrities there, and they're like, oh, introducing like, here's Hall of Famer, this person, Hall of Famer. And you might know her yet, might not know her yet, but like, here's Callie Bundy. She throws things on the internet, and I'm like,
throws things on the internet. That is
God,
great.
Don't call me up there. Don't call me up there. But of course, they call me up there, all like pat me on the back. They're like, we love your videos. They're so great. So I have to say, yeah, like completely surprised. I don't know if there was anyone in particular, but just anyone who saw it was was kind of mind-boggling to me.
Got
I
it.
will say too, even just today, I got this from, do you know Michael Lombardi? He
Does it have anything to
worked,
do with Vince Lombardi?
no,
No.
no,
Okay.
but he was a GM. He worked, he has like worked on 3 teams that won the Super Bowl,
Okay.
coached with Belichick.
Okay.
He
There
has
you
a book
go.
out called
That
Gridiron
once
Genius.
you work with Belichick, you have all the cachet in the world.
Yeah, like he has quotes on the back of his book from like Sean McVay, John Calipari, Nick Saban, and he sends me this book. So he's
So he
like
personally
knows
sent
what
you
he's,
that book.
yes,
Wow.
and the best part is he knows what he's talking about. Yeah, the foreword is by Belichick, but he wrote me a note in here. It's really great, and it says, "To Callie, the most accurate thrower I've ever scouted. You enjoy. Like
I
why?
Yeah, I think we could honestly put you in pads. I think you would have done well. Excuse me. All right. So one of the other reasons, obviously, I wanted to get, your story out there as far as you throwing things, but another reason I wanted to bring you on is because you are known as a mompreneur. You are known as a quote unquote fit mom. So you just had a baby. How old is your baby?
4 months.
4 months. What's his name?
Marco.
Marco. So Marco is 4 months. All right. So obviously it's well documented that you're fit. You've been active, not only before pregnancy, during pregnancy, and now after pregnancy. So can you just talk a little bit about, the truths and myths out there about working out while pregnant? I know some females out there, they don't want to see a gym when they are pregnant. And what advice would you give to women out there who just found out they were pregnant or who just gave birth and they just want to stay or get fit? What would you say to those women out there?
Well, I think as far as like the myths go, yeah, like I think it's important to remember that every pregnancy is different and everyone's bodies are different, and you
Correct.
really don't know what you're going to be dealing with until it comes, right? Like I know even for my mom, she had 3 of us, and she's like, "Oh, for this pregnancy, I didn't even it didn't bother me, I just kept going, and then one day I had a baby." For this one, I was so sick. So it's going to be different for everyone. So I don't think there's one general rule that you could apply kind of across all pregnancies. So I think
Gotcha.
it's important, to know that it's your own pregnancy and treat it that way, right? Like don't feel like you have to work out if you don't want to. Don't
Gotcha.
and if you want to work out and you feel fine and great, keep working out. I think it's important to move, but not necessarily put that pressure on yourself of having to stay to a routine or do something like super rigorous. Like it could be as easy as just walking, because that blood flow during pregnancy is so important.
Of course, of
Um,
course.
but so I think, yeah, it's just to remember it's your body, it's your pregnancy. It's going to be different for everyone. So you have to do what's comfortable for you.
Correct. So what would you say if you were to give just maybe some general health tips to women out there who are pregnant? As far as health tips, what would you say? Give them 3 health tips that you would recommend women out there to do. Or
These
yeah,
these are funny because they're not really that much different than you would give to anyone else. But they're super important when you're pregnant. I think the first one would be drink water. And I know it's a simple thing to say. And even for someone like myself who drinks almost a gallon of water a day, when I was pregnant, that wasn't enough. Like you
really,
literally,
you were
and
thirsty all the
so
time.
thirsty all the time and you don't really go to the bathroom. Like your body is just sucking everything up.
Yeah,
Um, and so you just have to keep drinking. And especially too, once you have the baby and if you're nursing, like you really just can't drink enough water. It's so important. So that would be number 1. Number 2, when it comes to food, make sure you're eating enough. Like, don't, worry about like, trying to stay fit or cut calories or do anything like that. Like if you're hungry, eat. Again, every pregnancy is going to be different. There's
yeah,
times where, my first trimester, I had really bad food aversion. So anything that I ever ate before, chicken, eggs, like I couldn't go near it. I couldn't
really.
smell it. I couldn't think about it.
So what did you
So
do?
it
Did you
gets
switch to, I mean, what kind of diet were you on when you were eating, when
it's
you were pregnant?
literally like hour to hour for me for the first trimester because you just don't know what's going to trigger these food aversions. So, you can't, it's so hard going to the grocery store because you can't buy food for a week because you don't know what you're going to be able to eat in an hour.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
it would just change. And it was funny. I found myself eating like a little kid diet. Like I would have like bagels and cream cheese or mac and cheese or rice cakes, like stuff I never eat, but it was the only
Sounds pretty
thing that I
tasty
could eat.
though.
Yeah, yeah. There
Nope.
was one night that my husband came home and he was like, "Did you just Uber eat mac and cheese? Because we didn't have any in the house." And I was like, "It was an emergency.
What
I
mama
needed
wants,
mac and
mama
cheese."
gets. Absolutely.
That's
Absolutely.
right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So hydration, feel free to eat. And what would you say is another one?
It would just be again move. Like it doesn't
Move.
have to
Okay.
be working out, but just remember to move again. Like whether it's light stretching, walking. I have a dog. I would take him for walks. But just keep moving, just enough. Like you don't have to fatigue yourself, but just enough.
Gotcha. All right, so let's dive in a little deeper into your specific pregnancy, first trimester, second, third trimesters. How did that go? Which one was the most difficult? I mean, was there complications? Like maybe discuss a little bit about that.
Yeah. So the first and third trimesters were the most difficult for me. I think as far as pregnancy goes, like I've heard some stories.
Hmm.
It's not easy by any stretch of the imagination. But mine was pretty straightforward. I really didn't have, I'm pretty laid back. A lot of people, I'd go into the doctors and they'd be like, "Do you have any questions?" I'm like, "Nah, I mean, I think my body's got this. Like, it knows what it's doing. I'm just gonna drink water and eat and walk around." So, um, it was pretty easy in that sense. But the first trimester, again, really bad food aversions. And I was really sick. Like, I got sick at least once a day, the entire first trimester.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. So it made doing anything or going anywhere really difficult.
What were your symptoms? Were you just getting nauseous? Like what was
Yeah.
nauseous?
You
Okay.
get nauseous and then I would get physically ill. So
Wow.
I would throw up. Yeah. Like at least once a day the entire first trimester.
Yikes.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was really, really fun. And then the second trimester was the best. Like you get your energy back a little. That's when I started. I didn't work out at all the first trimester. Like I walked, but I was so dead and
Yeah.
just nauseous.
Didn't sound
And
like you could. Throwing up every day. That's
no,
crazy.
yeah. And you couldn't, like I wasn't really eating vegetables because they made me sick. Like, you just were so off. But the second trimester, the food aversion started to go away. The nauseousness started to go away. I wasn't getting sick. That's when I started to be able to work out a little bit. So that was
Gotcha.
like, okay, this is good. My stomach wasn't that big, so I didn't have a lot of limitations as far as like, movements that I could do and stuff like that. So I'm like, oh, this is great. Okay, we're cooking now. This is good. And then the third trimester, you start just getting really tired. And your stomach like just starts getting, for me anyway, really big. It hit a point, I think it was like around like 27, 28 weeks. Like every week you didn't think you could get any bigger. And every week you just got bigger.
Yep, it's getting bigger
And
now. Oh wow.
yeah, and it's like serious. Like from you can't put your shoes on anymore and you're like everything is a slip on or, trying to work out like I couldn't run, because your belly's so big, it's uncomfortable,
Yeah,
on your
no.
ligaments. And so
I
that
would
was
think you
out.
couldn't do that. It'd be uncomfortable. Yeah.
Yeah. And doing, as far as workouts, I was doing bodybuilding style workouts, but
Really?
every week there would be something that I couldn't do. Like if I was doing deadlifts, right? Like not lifting heavy, but just going through the movement. And then I was like, okay, my stomach's in the way now. That's out,
Yeah, I would think
okay.
that would be a little difficult to bring the barbell up. So would you use like any equipment or would it just be the movement like you say?
Yeah, it kind of progressed every week as to what you were able to do. I
Gotcha.
started with equipment, and then kind of like maybe I would move to bands, then maybe I would move to just the movement, and then maybe I wasn't, like, by the end I really was just walking. I wasn't doing
Gotcha.
like anything.
But that's
Yeah.
great. I feel like you were always doing something, within your limits that you could do, but you were constantly moving. And how do you feel that helped you, I guess post pregnancy? Like, did you feel like that had an effect on how you felt afterwards?
I think not as much as before you're pregnant. Like having that base before, like
Got it.
that muscle memory, and that's what I think made it really easy, because people are like, "Oh, you must have worked out like crazy when you were pregnant." And I'm like, "No, actually, if I didn't feel like it, I wouldn't do it. It wasn't like a matter of like I need to push through this kind of thing. Like if you're tired from a reason. Like you're literally growing a human that is sucking all of your nutrients and life out of you, and it needs it to develop. So if you're tired, you need to listen and you
Yeah.
need to rest.
So listen to
So
your
I
body.
would,
That's a great point out there for all you ladies. Listen to your body
yeah,
during pregnancy.
yeah. It's
Um,
not like you're tired before and you're like, oh, I had a long day, I'm tired, and you can push through it. Like it's completely different. Like you are giving life to another life, so it's a serious thing.
Gotcha. So, interesting question here. What didn't you know before you got pregnant that you now know that you wish you would have known? And let's say baby number 2 comes up soon. What would you do differently with pregnancy number 2?
Um, Probably the when I was researching it, um, everything you read says on average it takes about 6 months to get pregnant. So I'm like, okay, because I still, needed to warm up to the idea that, my life was about to change, right? Even though
Absolutely.
I've had plenty of time to warm up to it, I still needed more time. So I'm like, okay, so this is going to take about 6 months. All right. Like on average, it might even take longer. Who knows? So I downloaded all my apps and like, following everything, so like the first month goes by and it's like, oh, take a pregnancy test. So I take a pregnancy test, boom, pregnant.
Wow. Didn't take
And
long.
no. And I was like, oh, I thought this was going to take like 6 months. Like, nope, like game on.
Wow.
So that was, and I know a lot of people might be like, that's not really a problem if you're trying to get pregnant, but it was something I didn't know. Like I thought I was going to have a little bit more time for, again, warming up to it. But so for baby number 2, if it came along, I would be aware of that. Yeah. Like once you start, like
Once you
it's
start, you
on.
better be ready for it to happen ASAP. Gotcha.
Exactly.
So question, were you on, because I know you are big into supplements, were you on supplements when you were pregnant? And what would you suggest, if any, as far as supplements for pregnant females? I know that's a touchy subject. Obviously, they should consult with their doctor, and maybe they don't want them on too many things. Maybe they scrap the supplements that they were on prior. What's your take on that?
Of course, yeah. And again, like you said, obviously questions to be asked to your doctor. For me, if I didn't 100% know what was in it, if I didn't make it myself, I wasn't having it.
Absolutely.
So I didn't take any supplements of any kind when I was pregnant. As far as traditional supplements, like proteins, BCAAs, obviously pre-workout, all those things. I didn't have any of it. So if it didn't come, like from my kitchen, I wouldn't take it.
Got
So
it.
the only thing that I did take, obviously, and once we started trying, I started taking it, was just a prenatal vitamin. And that was the only thing
The
that I
extent
took.
of it. So basically
Yeah.
prenatal vitamins, and you got the rest of your nutrients from your food.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome.
And I changed up my diet in terms of eating more calcium, because that is such an important nutrient for growing a baby. And if women don't have enough of it, it actually will take it out of your bones and give it to baby. So it can create a lot of problems for you later in life. So I don't ever have dairy, or like I very rarely have like real ice cream or things like that. So I started eating real cheese, yogurt, real ice cream. If I was going to have ice cream, anything that had calcium in it, I added it into my diet.
Nice. I'm sure you weren't mad about that. Ice cream and all these dairy products, cheese. Gotta love it.
No, I was not mad at all.
All right. So as far as, I mean, obviously, you have to have a certain mindset. You got to be mentally strong when you are pregnant. You already talked a little bit about the low times, at least during that first trimester. It seems like it was pretty tough. What was that the lowest point during your pregnancy? And, what would you like to share to other women out there as far as like the type of mindset or anything that helped you get through that process, whether it was yourself or maybe a specific support system that you had? Like, discuss the mindset aspect of being pregnant.
Obviously, getting pregnant and being able to grow a human and give life is an incredible thing, and it's a privilege and something that not every woman gets to experience. So I'm super thankful.
It's truly a blessing.
Was right, really, and I had a pretty easy time with it. I'm super thankful for all of that. Having said that, I will say that a lot of people, women I hear, and they're like, oh, I love being pregnant. It's amazing. I could be pregnant my whole life if I would. All those things about how magical it is.
Who says that?
Right, exactly. And for me, I mean, it wasn't super magical. It wasn't super awesome. You're literally, for my like personality type, I'm not someone who's used to not being able to do things, who's not being able to be active, who's not being able to travel, who's not being able to, have a drink if I want, who's like all these things that you can do whatever you want when you want. And
it's like you're not in control
pregnant,
anymore, basically.
Correct. Yeah, you're just on, like I would say, I'm on pause. You're like a vehicle, and it's something that I don't think men can really relate to at all, because nothing changes in their life whatsoever. And literally, like the minute, we found out, we were supposed to go skiing in March, and my doctor's like, well, we don't recommend you ski past 12 weeks. So, my husband's like, what do you mean you can't ski? I'm like I said,
it's like, woman up, come on, you can do it.
Right. And it's not a matter of like, I'm a great skier, I'm not worried about falling, but it's about somebody else hitting you and dislodging
Of course, yeah. Safety first.
Right. So as far as the mindset, I was fine with it for a while, up until, probably around 7 months. And then I was really like, I'm ready to have this baby. Like I'm ready to have the baby and move on and start, and that's probably when it got difficult. But as far as the mindset, like I said, you just think of it as like, it is such a blessing, and we're basically like superheroes, right? Like, and our superpower
100%.
is that we get to grow humans. Like, say it out loud. It's crazy. I think it was a Joe Rogan stand up somewhere after having a baby, and it was really funny because he was talking about pregnant women, and he was saying how we take it for granted because it's such a common thing and it happens every day, every minute of the day around the world. But when you just say it, just plain, like literally, we can grow humans. That's, I think, the mindset.
Yeah, the human body is absolutely amazing, especially a woman's body. Incredible. So I know I've seen your stories before, and I see you going hard in the gym post-pregnancy. And I know you've tried to strengthen the pelvic floor. Obviously, it gets a little weak after you give birth. Compare for me the workouts that you did prior to, now after the fact. I imagine you're doing a lot more core work now, just to kind of strengthen the body as a whole. But talk a little bit about that, about how your mindset as far as working out has changed, before, during, and after pregnancy.
Yeah. So first thing, as far as I had a regular natural birth. I didn't have a C-section, so I followed my doctor's orders as far as when I should start working out again. And they cleared me around 10 weeks to start with like light workouts, meaning like walking, maybe some, light weights, but there was like, no squatting, none of this, like just really, really light stuff.
Gotcha.
And then at 12 weeks, they fully cleared me. But they're like, again, listen to your body. They tell you to not really start to do abs, right away because of the diastasis recti as far as like the ab separation and things like that. So I didn't do abs for a while. Trying to think about when I started, and I started more with like planks and things that weren't really super strenuous. But my workouts before, I was
You were
doing
going
a lot
hard.
of spinning,
Okay.
yeah, a lot of running, like high intensity. I've done pretty much every workout style there is, but I get really bored with traditional bodybuilding workouts now because of being an athlete. I like things that involve my mind and my muscles. So I like to go hard. Yeah.
Okay. So
So
like more
I'm
like boot
still,
camp, CrossFit style is something you would
yeah,
prefer. Squats, take your rest, do second set, so on and so forth.
yeah, because it's obviously, it depends what your goal is, right? Like if
Yeah.
you're looking to perfect your physique a bit more, then you're going to lean a little bit more, bodybuilding style.
Correct. Yeah.
If you want to, improve your athletic performance a little bit, yeah, you're going to go with the athletic style workouts. So it just kind of depends. But for me, like my mood, the athletic workouts, mind and body, that's what like I'll never get bored of. So my workouts now are I'm doing them all from my app. It's my workout plan, and they are like a combination of HIIT and strength and conditioning, like all in one.
Rolled into one.
And there's a lot of core and a lot of pelvic floor, and that's not because they're any kind of like postnatal workout. They're just how the workouts are designed, but they're perfect for it. Probably more core than I've like done since I competed. I've always hated doing abs. Like it's just so boring to me.
You always left abs for last, worked out every other muscle. They
Yeah,
kind of
and
get a
just
workout. I feel like I always try to flex my abs as I do other workouts. And I'm like, okay, I got a pretty decent ab workout. I've been flexing for an hour. So, but yes,
right,
I understand where you're coming from.
right. So, and I definitely noticed it. And it's crazy because it does make you, stronger overall. So, I'm definitely not back to full intensity. There's certain things that still don't go well. If I'm trying to do like a lot of jumping or things where, you can still feel like your weak pelvic floor, but I've definitely noticed like an incredible improvement.
Gotcha. All right. You'll get there.
Yeah.
You'll get there. I have no doubt.
Yeah.
So you talked a little bit about your fitness app. Tell me what's next. I want to use this opportunity to, promote Callie Bundy, let everybody out there know your handles, what you got going on as far as business. Like I said, you're a mompreneur. So tell everybody out there what's next for you.
Yeah, I've always been such a weird person to ask the what's next question to, because pretty much like everything in my life that I ever have done, I never would have imagined that I would have been doing that like, a year before, 2 years before. It's kind of bizarre where I find myself, I just continue to do what I love, and the things I'm drawn to, which happen to be, sports and fitness and people and entertainment. And I keep finding that these opportunities keep presenting themselves. So for me, like as far as what I do, I mean, I'm just going to keep doing me, right? So I'm going to keep doing fitness and trick shot videos and whatever kind of, tickles my feather. Is that the expression?
Tickles your pickle, tickles your fancy. I don't know. Something like
Yeah,
that.
right, exactly. So I've always felt I actually come from a family of all medical fields. Like my grandfather was a doctor, my dad's a doctor, all my uncles are doctors. So we grew up in environment where nothing was that serious, but when people were sick, that was really what mattered, right? That's like, not everything trumps that. So for me, I've always wanted to make fitness and exercise and all that stuff seem more approachable and fun and not as like structured, and you don't have to do this or eat keto and do CrossFit workouts and do bodybuilding shows, and you don't have to count your macros. You don't have to do all that to stay healthy. Like, it just comes down to moving and having fun with it. So that's why I try to take such a light approach to fitness, because people that are into fitness are always going to be into fitness, right? Like, we're always going to follow each other, but I want to get like those fall off people that are maybe kind of into sports or football, or they just think my trick shot videos are cool. And then one day they're messaging me and they're like, hey, you know what? I don't even work out. And I walked 3 times this week, or, I went out and threw the ball, 2 times this week. And that's working out. Like, it doesn't have to be that serious. It's just about moving. So that's kind of the message I want to keep putting out there. So that's why, I'll have my app, the CallieBundyApp.com. You can follow me on Instagram, all my handles at Callie Bundy. But just keeping to make, fitness and sports fun and approachable for people, because it can be, as you know, can be super intimidating.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I got to commend you. I think you've definitely impressed a lot of men out there, but also I think you've turned a lot of women on to sports. And I love your approach as far as fitness is concerned. Even if it's just a little bit a day, 30-minute walk here and there, like little by little, I feel like you could build habits that, you never know. You might start to like it, and now you're in, the Orange Theory classes, or, you're in the boot camps, and all of a sudden it gets addictive, and you know how that is. So, but yeah, I mean, just, you got to start somewhere. So just get out there, move. It's great for you, great for circulation, heart health, the whole 9. So I love that.
Yeah, and I just want to interrupt you there really quickly before you wrap it up. But yeah, that's my biggest pet peeve with fitness, is that people think that they have to go like hard in the paint in order for it to work, right? Like, they
love the sports analogy.
Like, they're like, I need to eat lettuce and fish for 12 months, and I need to do cardio every morning, and then I need to, and then 3 weeks in, they hate it. They hate what they're eating. They hate what they're doing, and then they stop and they go back to everything they were doing. So it's nonsensical. So that's why, I would tell people, just whatever it is you like doing, like movement, do it. Like, it doesn't have to be a specific thing, and just try to eat real food. And that's it. Like, it can be that simple.
Yeah. It could be as easy as cutting out processed foods. Don't drink, try to cut out, if you're drinking 5 sodas a day, cut it down to 3, then 2, and so on and so forth. As long as you're making progress, exactly. you will get there and develop those habits. So before I let you go, I have to ask you some rapid fire questions. Okay, so here we go. Okay. What is your main New Year's resolution? I know it's almost the end of January, but I want to know what your New Year's resolution was.
My New Year's resolution has always been not to make a New Year's resolution.
Okay. Okay. And why is that?
Because I think any kind of resolution has to come from you, right? It can't be that the date on the calendar is changing, so you're going to make this change in your life because the calendar said so. If you want to make the change, it has to come from you. So you can make that resolution at any point that you want. So it could
be August resolution, it could be November resolution, it could be January, it could be whenever.
Yeah, it could maybe even be a New Year's resolution, just coincidentally, like if that's what works for people. But for me, that has always been my resolution, because it doesn't work for me.
Gotcha.
It's got to come from me.
So there you go, folks. If you want to change, you could literally do that in the next minute and start changing right now or tomorrow, whenever you decide. But anytime is a good time. All right. So fill in the blank. In 2020, I'm letting go of.
I don't know. I'm usually good at rapid fire.
In 2020, I'm letting go of what wouldn't you mind seeing or feeling less
My
of?
prenatal vitamin.
So you want to get rid of the prenatals?
That's right. That's right. I'm going to be weaning off breastfeeding, and along with that will be the prenatal.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. How about this? Your favorite fitness activity? It could be exercise. It could be the type of workout. Like, what would you say is your favorite fitness activity?
Throwing things.
Throwing things.
Literally, I could, that's what I grew up doing. Like, I could go out and do trick shot videos all day long. Like, unfortunately, all my friends are adults and they mostly have real jobs.
They're like, we don't have time to go to the park and watch you throw things.
Or just throw with me. That's why in all my videos I'm throwing at random objects because all my friends are at work.
They're like, I got a mortgage, Callie. I need to take care of. Okay. Your favorite healthy food, quote unquote, healthy food.
Anything that involves a combo bite. Like, I'm a big fan of salads because it's a combo bite. I'm a big fan of soups because it's a combo bite. Pizza, combo bite. Burger, combo bite. Also, I'd like to say, people that think burgers aren't fitness food, incorrect. Fake news. You heard it here.
Fake news. Gotta love a good burger. Get all those macros in there.
Right, not a processed one, but if you get like a good, grass-fed beef, you get your good, like, it's a health food.
Absolutely.
And it's like, I have a burger at least once a week, if not twice.
You heard it here first, guys. Burgers are your friends. All right, your favorite nutritional supplement? I know you got a bunch of those.
It's probably my 6-star pre-workout.
6-star pre-workout. So that's what you use prior to your workouts, gets you going, gets you a great workout.
Obviously, I haven't had it since I've been pregnant or since I've been nursing, but I'm going to be able to have it soon, and I'm really excited about it.
You're itching to get back with the 6-star. All right. Yes. Favorite sport to play and to watch?
Favorite sport to play would be softball. And favorite sport to watch would be football, with softball as a second, only because they don't air it year-round.
Yeah. I sometimes catch the ESPN softball, the tournament at the end usually.
Right. And not that they air football year-round either. It's just like randomly on. It's harder to find. But the Women's College World Series, when it's on, it's like crack. It's so good.
It's intense. I remember my Florida Gators were in it one year. I think they lost in the championship series, but it's near here nor there.
I'm sure they were in it a lot of years.
Yeah, no, they're really good. They're really good. All right, let's see. What is in your iPod right now or your iTunes? What is your favorite workout song? What gets you going?
I just saved one to my Spotify list. I'm really bad with music. Like, I know when I hear it, I'm like, ooh, I like that. And then I'll save it.
Okay.
But the problem is I never remember the names. But I just saved a song that had a really funny name, Big Booty by Gucci.
By Gucci Mane? Gucci Mane?
Yeah.
Big Booty by Gucci Mane. All right.
And Megan Stallion. There's a line in there about something. She's a walking bag of money. She's an athlete, something like that. And I liked it because they're talking about athletes. So it got me going.
So that you basically they were talking about you. Is that what you're saying?
That's right.
Gucci Mane. Love Gucci.
Yes.
All right. Who is the GOAT in football? I have a feeling I know what this answer is going to be.
Well, I hope you know what this answer is going to be because there's only one answer, and that answer is Thomas Brady.
Thomas? I didn't even know his name was Thomas. I always knew him by Tom.
I was just throwing that out there.
Did you just add Did you just add the us to Tom? All right.
I just did.
If anybody out there doesn't know already, she is a huge Patriots fan. Okay,
Yeah.
so last question. Who would win in a game of trick shot, you or Tom Brady?
Mm. Mm. You know, I once did a football trick shot video where I threw a football into a moving golf cart. Now, I'm not saying that Tom Brady saw this video, but I will say that about a year later, right before preseason started, he posted a very similar video of him throwing a football at a moving golf cart.
Really? So you think he got the
Really?
inspiration and basically bit your trick? Bit off your trick?
No, I doubt it. But it sounds like a good setup, right? But who knows? Who knows these things? The internet is a wild place.
He
But
was like he was going
absolutely,
through a deep dark hole on Instagram or something. He's like, "Whoa, what is this?" And just saw that, you know
yeah,
what? I need to go out tomorrow and emulate this.
right. Or he like lives on an estate where usually there's multiple golf carts that people drive around on, and you're probably like, hey, messing around throwing the football, and you're like throw it at a golf cart. Who knows?
Maybe hit the
But I will say
driver.
yes.
You never know.
Right. Exactly. But Brady would definitely win. I mean, he's got thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of hours more practicing hitting targets than I ever have in my life. And literally no one has ever taught me to throw a football. Like, I'm self-taught. I just go out and throw it. So if I had any kind of training and had some, for some reason, a way to catch up to his football hours, maybe I could put up like a fight, but Brady.
You'll give it to Brady. All right. Well, let's see if you could play Nostradamus right now. We have the Super Bowl coming up.
Yeah.
This will probably air after the Super Bowl, but let's see if your pick is right. We got the Chiefs. We got the 49ers. Who do you got?
I'm going Chiefs.
Chiefs.
And everyone keeps talking about the 49ers defense and how overall they're a better team. And I think it's going to be close. I think both teams have great momentum. They're clicking at the right time. Almost no one's hurt. But I think Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, Pat Mahomes. I'm actually leaning towards the Chiefs as well. I just want it to be a good game. I actually did not watch the Super Bowl last year. I mean, I'm sure you did.
A lot of people didn't. Yeah.
But 13-3, it was just like I was like, wow, 13-3. It looked like a snoozer there. So yeah. I'm actually glad I didn't watch that. I just hope it's a high scoring, close game, maybe a field goal to win it at the end. Wouldn't be mad at that. But with that, I just want to thank you again for coming on. Callie Bundy, everybody. Check her out on Instagram. You'll see all those trick shots. She's got a great fitness app. Ladies, if you are pregnant and you just given birth, you want to get in shape, definitely check her out. What's the app once more?
CallieBundyApp.com.
CallieBundyApp.com. So check that out, guys. And until next time, we will catch you on the Dr. Abs Healthcast. Take care, Callie. Thank you.
Thanks, Bryan.